Inside Racing. A long holiday weekend, a lot of races around the country. In fact, so many, we better get rolling. John Imbriale will join me right after this. Well, there were a lot of races this weekend, but first we're going to close the main track here at Aqueduct.
That's correct, and we're going to go back to last Wednesday as we kick off Races of the Week. We begin with the Huntington Stakes for 2-year-olds. This is at 6 furlongs. It marks the return of Kelly Kipp. Here's John Dooley with the call.
They're off. Level start. Kelly Kipp has come out running for the lead, but so too has Oro Bandito, Tommy Capote, and Confide. They're stacked 4 across the track up the backstretch. Oro Bandito on the far outside. Kelly Kipp, Tommy Capote, and Confide in that mix. Then 5 more lengths back to Mercer Mill, second to last, and Prometheus Unbound in 6th. Around the far turn, the opening quarter, 22-2. And on top, it's Kelly Kipp by a neck. Oro Bandito keeping him company with 3/8 to go. Confide now has dropped back a length in third. Then still 4 to Mercer Mill. Tommy Capote passed by Prometheus Unbound as they come toward the top of the stretch with Kelly Kipp digging down to lead it by a neck. Oro Bandito. Confide is 3 wide. Mercer Mill still 6 lengths behind in 4th. Then Prometheus Unbound and Tommy Capote, they're in the stretch. And it's Kelly Kipp in front by a length as they hit the 8th pole. Confide is second, Oro Bandito third. Down toward the final 16th, Kelly Kipp by 2. Confide's running second, then Oro Bandito, Mercer Mill. Here is Kelly Kipp. Kelly Kipp by a length.
A solid return by the Hobo Farm Colt, and let's remember it was into the wind. Very few horses did that day. Jerkins the trainer, Jean-Luc Samin.
Kelly Kipp wins the Huntington. Confide was second. Oro Bandito finished third. On Friday, the Grade 1 Delta Airlines Top Flight Handicap. The distance here is 1 mile. Tom Durkin with the call.
And they're off. Pumpkin Pie getting out. Little Buckles sent to the lead on the outside. Little Buckles, a short early lead. On the inside, it's Pumpkin Pie who backs off to allow Little Buckles the clear early lead. Pumpkin Pie sitting back in second now. Thunder Achiever hard held in between horses third. Shoop is fourth. Lots of Talc off a bit awkwardly. Fifth and on the far outside and in the clear. Then Stablemates, Flat Fleet Feet and Miss Golden Circle. It's another 2 to Queen Tutta, and the trailer is Return of Bomb. Up the backstretch, Little Buckles through an opening quarter in 23-1. Now being chased by Pumpkin Pie, Thunder Achiever. On the outside, Shoop, and at the rail, it's Flat Fleet Feet. And behind that group, Miss Golden Circle, Lots of Talc now 6 lengths from the lead as they hit the half-mile pole. Little Buckles continues to roll along, now clear by 2. Ran a half, demanding 46-1. Here comes Thunder Achiever to take her on the outside. In between horses, Pumpkin Pie, Shoop! There she goes on the outside, now advancing to third. Flat Fleet Feet in behind the lead, fourth. Miss Golden Circle is fifth. Lots of Talc, wide in 6th. 4 lengths, Queen Tutta, the trailer Return of Bomb. The field turning for home. On the outside, Thunder Achiever taking the lead. It's Thunder Achiever in front, but here comes Flat Fleet Feet on the inside. Thunder Achiever swerves in. Flat Fleet Feet on the inside. Flat Fleet Feet in front at the 8th pole. It's Flat Fleet Feet in front with the furlong to go. Her stablemate, Miss Golden Circle. Shoop, Thunder Achiever in between horses. Queen Tutta closing like a rocket. Coming down to the line. Flat Fleet Feet in front.
The withdrawal of Yanks Music may have dimmed the race, but John Kimmel was very proud of Tom Durkin for getting Flat Fleet Feet right 6 times during the call. Caesar Kimmel, Philip Solons, Leonard Solons, John Kimmel, the trainer, Mike Smith up.
It is Flat Fleet Feet, the 3-year-old filly, winning the Delta Airlines Top Flight. Queen Tutta closed to be second. Miss Golden Circle, the other half of the Kimmel entry, was third. The final Grade 1 of the 96 season in New York, the Naira Mile Handicap. And we're happy to say a big field of 14 went to the post. Here again, Tom Durkin.
They're in the gate. And they're off. On the outside, wide change and appealing skier. Honor and Glory, flashing speed and down toward the inside. Poor but honest, moving up the chute and heading for the main track, going at a furious pace early. In between horses, Honor and Glory. Poor but Honest down toward the inside, Appealing Skier on the outside. It's 3 lengths back, Valid Expectations running fourth, Why Change is fifth. The opening quarter, 21-3. The pace is sensational. Admiralty is running in 6th position, and then it's Kiradashi who's 7th in between horses. Distorted Humor in hand 8th. Atticus is 9th. 4 lengths back to Diligence, who is 10th with 5 furlongs to go. Checker off a beat slowly is now launching a bid from well behind. Gold Fever at the back of the pack with Jamie's first punch. It's 6 lengths back to Top Account, the stretch runner, as they enter the far turn. They ran a half in 43 4/5 seconds. It is a wild pace here that is being set by Appealing Skier, who is going head-to-head with Honor and Glory. They continue their cutthroat duel on the turn. Why Change draws into dramatic contention on the outside. Just in behind the lead, Valid Expectations. Nowhere to go at this point. Admiralty is kicking in. Diligence coming with the 5 wide sweep. Checker is finding his best stride. Distorted Humor. Gold Fever swings wide into the stretch. Down toward the inside. Top Account is beginning to pick up horses. They're coming down to the final furlong. And Diligence is the boss at the 8th pole. But Gold Fever is coming with a hard charge on the outside. Gold Fever storms to the front as they come down to the finish. Then Diligence and Top Account. Gold Fever.
Speed collapses. Gold Fever, who's been, as John points out, a different horse since they added Lasix, wins his 3rd in a row. Cynthia Phipps, Shug McGahee, Mike Smith again.
Gold Fever, the 3-year-old, upsets the field in the Naira Mile. Diligence, another 3-year-old, was 2nd, and a Top Account finished 3rd, 134.98 for the mile. Let's go west now to California. Hollywood Park, the Grade 3 Mies Stakes. This is for 2-year-old fillies on the grass. Luke Kreitbos with the call.
Off and running in the Mies. Fast start for Rexy Sexy on the inside. Quickly joined by Wealthy. Critical Factor broke well, is right there on the outside in 3rd. Montecito comes away 4th as Cutney on the extreme outside with Clever Pilot coming on around the first turn. Rexy Sexy takes off, goes clear by 1. Wealthy to track her early from 2nd. Critical Factor settles down in 3rd. Cozy Flyer at the rail racing in 4th. Pun saving ground in 5th. Clever Pilot 6th, now 5 off the pace. Then the favorite Montecito 2nd last as Cutney the trailer. Up the backstretch they go. The first quarter solid, 23 1/5 seconds. Rexy Sexy and Kent DeSormo clear by 1. Wealthy inching up to put some pressure on her now in 2nd. Critical Factors 3rd. Cozy Flyer tucked in 4th. Pun moving up in traffic now in 5th. Clever Pilot moves within 4 of the pace, racing 6th by 2. Then Montecito and as Cutney at the back of the pack through a half mile in 46 4. Heading for the far turn. Rexy Sexy just ahead in front now. Wealthy pressing hard to the outside in 2nd. Critical Factor 3rd. Cozy Flyer saving ground in 4th. Pun racing in 5th. Then it's Clever Pilot on the far outside. Montecito has 4 to make up as Cutney trails, running for the top of the lane. Wealthy takes a short lead. Rexy Sexy full throttle on the inside, kicks back in 2nd. Montecito now revving up on the inside in 3rd. Then as Cutney in the deep stretch, Wealthy's got the lead by a neck now. Rexy Sexy Gamel on the inside. Montecito 3rd and Clever Pilot. Wealthy holding on as Cutney flying as Cutney hits the front as Cutney wins going away.
It's a Grade 3, but we're using it because our man, Alan Dragones, December Hill Farm, owns this filly. David Donk, the trainer. Eddie Delahousie rides.
Scutney with a nice closing kick to win the Mies. Wealthy finished 2nd, and Clever Pilot was 3rd. We're going to stay at Hollywood Park, stay on the turf for the Grade 2 Citation Handicap 3-year-olds and up. Let's see it start to finish.
Flag is up, off and running in the Citation Handicap. Perfect start. Gentleman and Bo Jingles breaking on top. Smooth Runner broke well. He's right there 3rd. Helmsman comes away an unhurried 4th. To the outside, Eltish racing 5th. And Via Lombardia and Silver Wizard trails. Past the stands with 1 lap to go. Bo Jingles taking over, goes clear by 1 now. Gentleman to the outside to prompt the pace in 2nd place. Helmsman tucked in, saving ground in 3rd. Eltish just 2 off the pace setter, racing in 4th. And Via Lombardia, Smooth Runner. And long shot Silver Wizard, the trailer, just 6 lengths off the lead. Around the turn they go. Bo Jingles and Alex Solis through the opening quarter in 24 seconds flat. Opening up now by a length and a half. Gentleman under a nice hold, racing 2nd. Helmsman tugging his way along in 3rd place. Eltish is 4th, just 3 lengths off the pace. A length and a half farther back to Via Lombardia. Then Silver Wizard and second. Smooth Runner, the trailer, just 5 lengths front to back up the backstretch. Half mile went by in 47 3/5 seconds. And Gentleman now gets his nose in front. Bojangles right there to the inside. Now they're matching strides by a length and a half. Helmsman inches his way up, but closer third with Eltish to the far outside. A length and a half farther back to Via Lombardia. Smooth Runner spots an opening, is sent through into contention along the inside, and Silver Wizard around the far turn. Bojangles in front by a head. Gentleman right there on the outside, racing second. Smooth Runner needs an opening along the inside. He's hemmed in by Helmsman to the outside. Two back to Via Lombardia, winding their way to the top of the lane in the citation. Gentleman now a short lead. Bojangles on the inside responds and kicks back. Too farther back to Smooth Runner, who finds a seam now in third. Via Lombardia in high gear, and Helmsman deep stretch. Gentleman striding clear. Gentleman opening up on the field in the citation handicap, and Gentleman going on to score. Gentleman winning it by 2.5 over Smooth.
Ron McAnally's had so much success with the Argentinian horses that the Argentinians are shipping them up here. Still owned by Haras de la Pomme, trained by Richard Mandela. Gary Stevens up. Gentleman wins it.
2-to-1 shot. Gentleman takes the citation handicap. Smooth Runner was second, and Via Lombardia finished third. And we've had a good collection of races so far this evening, and we're not done yet.
No, we're going to go down and close Churchill Downs and pick up the Remsen right after this.
As they wrap things up at Churchill Downs, we'll look at the Clark Handicap, a grade 3 on the main track at a mile and a furlong, and Mike Battaglia has the call.
And they're off. Western Trader breaks sharply from between horses. The outside, Is It In Good? Then Come On, Get Happy, followed by Savinio and Strawberry Wine. Into the first turn, Western Trader is in front a length. Come On, Get Happy takes second by a head. Is It In Good on the outside, third by 2. Savinio runs fourth a length. Strawberry Wine fifth. Down along the inside, Judge TC is 6th. Tenants Harbor 7th. Then it's Naka Dune. Coup d'Argent is the trailer, first quarter 23-4. Western Trader on the inside leads it by a half length. Come On, Get Happy second. Then it's a length and a half. Is It In Good third. Down along the inside, Savinio runs fourth. Gap of 2 to Strawberry Wine fifth. Judge TC 6th, Nakadoon 7th. Tenants Harbor is 8th. Coup d'Argent is the trailer. Half in 47-3, Western Trader. Come On, Get Happy, they're together. Now Come On, Get Happy moves by, gets the lead. Is It In Good takes second ahead. Western Trader third, Savinio fourth. 2.5 back to Judge TC in fifth. Nakadoon gains ground sixth. As they move forward the stretch, Come On, Get Happy is in front. On the outside, Is It In Good second. Those two are now together. Savinio runs third with a furlong to run. Is It In Good gets the lead. On the outside, Savinio, then Come On, Get Happy. Coup d'Argent takes fourth. Nearing the wire, Is It In Good?
Another horse rarely throws in a bad race, throws in a good one today. Is It In Good? Mike Pegram, Terry Hand, Bob Baffert, the trainer, David Flores up.
5-2 shot. Is It In Good wins the Clark Handicap. Savinio second. Coup d'Argent was third. We've got some 2-year-old races now at Churchill on their Saturday closing afternoon. We'll begin with the girls in the Goldenrod Stakes. 2-year-old fillies, a mile and a 16th on a sloppy main track. Here at Mike Battaglia.
And they're off. City Band breaks sharply for the lead from the outside, then Bugs Rabbit, Sharon Jean, followed on the outside by Screamer. Into the first turn, City Band, the leader, has it 2 lengths. Sharon Jean second, Bugs Rabbit runs third. Through from the inside, Private Pursuit fourth ahead, Screamer fifth by 2.5, Glitter Woman 6th. Jenna S 7th, followed by Water Street, gap of 5. Then Kara's Rock and Roll, Runaway Mary Trails, first quarter 24 flat, City Band the leader. Has it by a length. The outside, Sharon Jean second, a length. Private Pursuit gains ground in third. Bugs Rabbit is now fourth. Then from between horses, Screamer fifth, 2.5 to Glitter Woman 6th, Jenna S 7th. Water Street is now 8th, gap of 5. Then Runaway Mary Cara's Rock and Roll the half, and 48-4, City Band the leader. Has it by a length. On the outside in second, that's Sharon Jean. Down along the inside, Private Pursuit runs third. Then gaining ground up from the outside into fourth. That is Glitter Woman. Now Glitter Woman moves by and takes second. Also moving up Screamer as they move into the stretch. City Band is in front. Glitter Woman on the outside second. Gap of 5 lengths. Then on the outside, that's Screamer third. They're in the final furlong, and City Band draws away. Glitter Woman is second. Nearing the wire, it's City Band.
2 favorites are running 1-2 here, but the daughter of Carson City, she saw mud on the track, and she swims.
City Band, owned by Overbrook Farm, trained by D. Wayne Lucas, and it's Shane Sellers up. Glitter Woman was second. Water Street finished third. The boys take over in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. Same distance, mile and a 16th. We'll see it with Mike Battaglia giving the call.
Post. And they're off. For the lead, the inside, Leestown. Also from the inside, Partners Hero. Then up from the outside, that's Concerto. Carmen's Baby on the extreme outside as they move into the first turn. On the inside, Partners Hero leads at a half. Concerto second. Carmen's Baby third by 2.5. Leestown is fourth ahead. On the Star 2 runs fifth. Global View now takes 6, 2.5 to Thesaurus in 7th. Then it's Night in Reno, Letterhead. Length back to Esteemed Friend, big gap to the trailers, Celtic Warrior. First quarter, 23-4. The leader, Partners Hero by a length, Concerto second. Leestown is third by a head. Carmen's Baby on the outside, fourth by a length. Then up from the inside, I'm a Star 2, fifth. 4 back to Global View in 6th. Letterhead is 7th. Thesaurus gains ground 8th, and Night in Reno. Followed by Celtic Warrior. Esteemed Friend now trails the half in 48-1. Partners Hero on the inside, Concerto on the outside. Center of the track, Carmen's Baby, gap of 5. Leestown gains ground 4th, Letterhead 5th. Into the stretch, and Concerto has the lead. On the outside, Carmen's Baby second. Then a gap of 4. Leestown in the center of the track now runs third. In the final furlong, Concerto has a head in front. On the outside, Carmen's Baby. Celtic Warrior is gaining ground. It's Concerto, Carmen's Baby, Celtic Warrior. Concerto wins it almost a length.
Steinbrenner's Kinsman Stable had to settle for second in the Naira Mile, but wins the Kentucky Jockey Club. John Tomorrow trains this one. Carlos Marquez was up.
Concerto wins it. Celtic Warrior second, and Carmen's Baby was third. And we're going to continue on with some 2-year-olds right here at Aqueduct in the Grade 2 Remsen Stakes, a mile and a furlong the distance.
And they're off. The Silver Move, and there goes a Crown Ambassador up and after the lead. Cashatrea veered out soon after the start and is third as they head for the turn. Hex up close to a lively early pace on the outside, fourth. Affair with Peaches moves inside fifth, just ahead of Jules, who's sixth. Accelerators at the back of the pack with El Joven the trailer. Around the clubhouse turn, Crown Ambassador is the leader, and the Silver Move comes through on the inside, the quarter, and into the stiff wind in 24 1/5 seconds. Into the backstretch now with the wind at their backs. It's Crown Ambassador 3/4 of a length. The Silver Move pressing on the inside, second a length. Hex on the outside, just off the pace, running third. In behind the front 3, it's Cashatrea 4th. 2 lengths back, Affair with Peaches is 5th. Jules is running 6th, unhurried at this point, but he's 9 or 10 lengths behind the front runner, Crown Ambassador. Farther back, Accelerator and El Joven. The half in 48-2. At the half-mile pole, Crown Ambassador still leads the way. Crown Ambassador striding out now by a length and a half. The Silver Move's running in second. Hex is third. Cachatrea still fourth. And Jules is kicking in. He's making a move with 3 furlongs to go. He's by a fair with Peaches. He rockets past Cachatrea and Hex. He is taking aim at the front runners as the field turns for home. Crown Ambassador is the leader. The Silver Move trying to get by him. Jules made a powerful move on the far turn. He draws within striking range of the leaders as they come down to this final furlong marker. Accelerator is fourth. It's the Silver Move who's emerged with the lead. Jules giving his best, trying to get by a very game. The Silver Move is holding on and turning back Jules and all the rest. The Silver Move has won the Remsen by 3 conclusive lengths over Jules.
Trainer Linda Rice has a reputation of winning with a horse early in its career, and then they sell it or get out of the business. But the Silver Move, Linda's got herself a nice one here. Earl Silver is the owner, Richard Migliori up.
First time on an off track, and the Silver Move took to it, winning the Remsen Stakes here under Migliori. Finishing second was the favorite Jules. Accelerator checked in third, and on the sloppy oval, 153.54. And as I said that, did they make Jules the favorite in that race?
Jules was the favorite. Accelerator opened the favorite because Acceptable was scratched. Right. They were 8 and 9 on the program. They both began with ACC. Could have been a mistake. Right. But finally, Jules became the favorite. Jules, who figured to be on the pace, was 7th going down the backstretch and made a belated move. And Richard, I guess, stole the race.
Yeah, benefited from that inside post position, and I guess he liked the off track.
Not bad. Good win for him. Inner track begins tomorrow. There'll be a lot of things going on. And remember, Pick the Pros and Ponies still in action. And next Sunday, there's a carryover, 2,000. Nobody picked it this week.
We like to announce a carryover no matter what the subject might be.
Wherever there's a carryover. The inner track, they're going to say it's speed favoring and then closers win every day. You know, you never know what's going to happen. It's a different kind of racing. There's more 2-turn races, more races starting in front of the stands.
Well, certainly the numbers are okay tomorrow. We do have decent-sized fields, and we'll see what happens. We've got those 6 furlong, mile and a 16th races, but we'll settle in and we'll like it.
I think the stretch is longer than on the main. There was somebody once told me that.
Right.
However, what can we tell you? There are a couple of races from California we didn't show you. We hope you saw them on ESPN. We have to go home. Good night from Inside Racing.
Good night.
Good evening. Welcome to Inside Racing. We have some races of the week for you tonight, and we'll meet Linda Rice, whose horse, the Silver Move, won the Remsen last week. She'll discuss that colt's future with us. And we are on the eve of winter racing. About a year ago, I was up in Connecticut at the Auto Tote doing a day, and a young man came up to me named Richard Lurie, and he gave me some poems that he had written. Now, several years ago, he wrote a "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" satire about racing, and we did use it on the show. I liked one of the poems very much, and I decided to use it for winter racing. I forgot about it last year, but we're going to do it now. The name of it is Our Most Valuable Resource by Richard Lurie. If you're a fan of racing, if you love horses, I think you'll appreciate this very good poem. He never raced at Saratoga or ran at Churchill Downs, nor competed in a stakes race, much less the Triple Crown. Out of a dam nobody's heard of by a mediocre sire, he never was high-weighted nor produced a triple buyer. Just slightly over 15 hands and an average shade of bay. His efforts always honest, though I'm sure he'd rather play. Never ridden by Cordero nor saddled by D. Wayne. He never was the favorite. You won't recall his name. He's just your average claimer on a weekday racing card, conditioned by a trainer whose only times were hard. He wears a thoroughbred blue collar as he races round the turns and won't be featured in the Blood Horse with the money that he earns. Still, he wears his worn tack proudly as he holds his head up high. Without him, there would be no game. Our industry would die. He's our table's bread and butter, served between the gourmet meals of the graded steaks and derbies and those of like appeal. From the bluegrass of Kentucky to the Florida sunshine, from California's verdant valleys to Arkansas's loblolly pines, may he stay forever sound and be a healthy, happy horse, because although it's seldom stated, he's our most valuable resource. We're very much indebted to you. I hope you agree with it. Coming up with Races of the Week. Mr. Lurie could write a verse about horses swimming if you've been here this week. Let's take a look at what was going on.
I never thought it was going to stop raining on Friday and Saturday, but it finally did. And right now we're going to present Races of the Week. A sloppy inner track here at Aqueduct on Saturday for the Garland of Roses handicap. Fillies and mares sprinting at 6 furlongs. Tom Durkin with the call.
And they're off. There goes Big City Bound up and after the early lead. On the outside, Phone the Doctor off to a sharp beginning. At the rail, Wild Wings comes out running third. Then Stormy Chrissy fourth, followed by Napoleon. And Lots of Talk at the back of the pack. The Richard Migliore would like her closer. Moving down the backstretch, up top, Big City Bound. Phone the Doctor moving right with her. Through a quarter in 22 and 2. Into the far turn. Phone the Doctor at the head of Big City Bound. 3 lengths back, Wild Wings, Stormy Chrissy. Then Napoleon and Lots of Talk. Lots of Talk taking 4 wide as they round the far turn. Phone the Doctor takes charge. Phone the Doctor now beginning to get away from Big City Bound. And it's 3 lengths back to Wild Wings, Stormy Chrissy. Napoleon continues to float. Lots of Talk out into the middle of the track. They're coming down to the final furlong. Joe Bravo shakes up Phone the Doctor. She's responding, leaving Big City Bound behind. On the outside, Lots of Talk trying to get closer to Phone the Doctor, but there's a big lead, 5 lengths. Lots of Talk running on second, coming down to the line. Phone the Doctor wins by 2.5 at the end. Lots of Talk wide.
Joe Bravo, the Meadowlands leading rider, is heading to Florida, but he came over here on Saturday and picked himself up 3 winners, including this one. For the new farm, Ben Perkins Jr., Phone the Doctor with Joe Bravo.
No problems with the slop for Phone the Doctor. Takes the Garland of Roses handicap. Lots of Talk, State-bred Millionaire was second. Napoleon third. And on the sloppy oval, 6 furlongs in 110.25. Down south we go. Speaking of Florida, we'll go to Calder for the My Charmer handicap. This is for fillies and mares on the turf. The distance a mile and a furlong, and it's Phil Saltzman with the call.
And they're off in the My Charmer handicap. In the middle of the course, Lindsay Frolic breaks alertly and moves out for the lead as Delta Love moves into second position. Then toward the outside, Rejoiced with Hurricane Viv. Then tucked in toward the inside, that's Romy. It's a length back to the outside. Majestic Die. The early trailer is Ms. Mosley. They leave the chute, move past the finish line, and it's Lindsay Frolic in front by a length. Delta Love stalks her second. Then toward the inside, it's Romy. Outside, that's Hurricane Viv. Length back to the gray, Rejoiced, and a length to the inside, it's Majestic Die, and at the hedge, it's Ms. Mosley. They went the first quarter in 22 and 4, and they moved to the backstretch. The pace is quick. Lindsay Frolic leads a half length. Delta Love right there second. And toward the outside, it's Hurricane Viv. On the inside, that's Romy. Lengths back to Rejoiced. Then comes Majestic Die, and 2.5 lengths to the trailer, Ms. Mosley. They've slowed the pace down. It's 47 and 2 as they leave the half-mile pole. On the inside, Lindsay Frolic with Delta Love alongside. 2 lengths to the hedge, that's Romy. Then a length to the outside, it's Hurricane Viv. Another length back to Rejoiced. On the inside, Majestic Die, and 2 lengths to Ms. Mosley. 3 quarters in 1:11 and 1. There's a quarter of a mile to go in the My Charmer handicap. The speed duel continues. On the outside, Delta Love moves up to put her head in front. Lindsay Frolic at the hedge is second, then 2 lengths back to the inside. Romy is next, another length to Majestic Die. They're in the final furlong now. On the outside, it's Delta Love. On the inside, Lindsay Frolic. Romy coming on. Here comes Ms. Mosley. They come to deep stretch, and Romy's going to be up in time and takes the My My Charmer. It was close.
Good finish on the turf course as Francisco Torres gets the lukewarm favorite home, Romy. W. Pasella, Jay Reeser, T. Schwade, Moses Yanez, the trainer.
Romy takes the My Charmer handicap on the good turf down at Calder. Delta Love was second. Miss Mosley finished third. Romy a 2-to-1 shot and the winner. We're going to go out west now to California. Check in at Hollywood Park for the Vernon O. Underwood Stakes. This is a sprint 6 furlongs. It's a grade 3 for 3-year-olds and up, and it's Luke Kreitbos with the call.
Off and running in the Vernon O. Underwood. Hit the roof and paying dues. Broke on top right together. Kern Ridge, men's exclusive are right there. And Minjinsky comes away racing fifth. Criolito next to the inside and 3 back to Moving Tribute who trails. Up the backstretch going quickly. Paying dues in front by a deck. Hit the roof to the inside second. And men's exclusive between racing in third. Kern Ridge is fourth to the outside. Criolito tucked in 2.5 off the pace in fifth. And Minjinsky and Moving Tribute opening quarter flash by in 21 and 4 round the 5 turn. Men's exclusive by a nose now. Paying dues 3 wide. Second hit the roof. Back pedals now in third place. Then Kern Ridge coming on fourth by 3 more than Minjinsky. And Moving Tribute from the back past the quarter pole. Paying dues in front by a neck. Men's exclusive driving along the inside. Kern Ridge up to join the fray. Then hit the roof and Minjinsky in the stretch drive. Paying dues gets the head in front. Men's exclusive tough as nails to the inside. Then 2 back to Kern Ridge racing third. Paying dues short lead. Men's exclusive trying to hang with him. Paying dues by a neck. Paying dues to win the Vernon O. Underwood. Won it by half a length to a tough men's exclusive.
3 to 5 favorite there, breaking through at 108.24. I'm sorry. Paying dues. Pat Day was up. Clifford Seiss Jr., the trainer. Ballantyne, Owen, and Welty. Sounds like a law firm. They own Paying Dues.
Paying dues wins the Vernon O. Underwood. Men's exclusive finished second, and that was Kern Ridge in third, as Harvey mentioned, 108 and a bit for the 6 furlongs. And you know, one thing that keeps you going in racing is looking forward to Triple Crown events, at least horses that are going to be 3-year-olds next year. And we're going to have a chance to do that with our guests in a few moments.
It's a wide open crapshoot right now. There's really no prohibitive favorite. There's nobody that you hear everybody talking about.
No, there's no Secretariat, no affirmed Denali Dar, at least now anyway.
And Linda Rice, never knows. She may have one. After all, the Remsen has produced some major stakes winners.
Yes, it has. Go for Gin came back and won the Kentucky Derby the following year, so there's a little history in her favor.
We'll get some strategy plan. What are you going to do with this horse first Saturday in May, the Silver Move? Linda Rice coming right up. She's one of the most successful trainers on our circuit, and I didn't even have to say woman trainer. I'm sure you could see that. Linda Rice, often called the queen of the 2-year-olds, and one of those 2-year-olds won the Remsen. Now, this reputation of being the queen of the 2-year-olds, we know how that happens. You keep coming up with them year in and year out. Explain that.
Well, it is my forte, and it's what I've been known for. But that comes from a family background. My family's broken, trained, and sold, and been a family of pinhookers for a long time, and that's how I got into racing. So I would imagine that's why I excel at it.
Do they still pinhook? Is that basically what you do? They'll pinhook and then you'll find an owner, or they'll find an owner for that horse?
Yes, that's what they do, and they sell at all the Miami sales and whatnot, and it's been a very good reservoir of horses for myself to find for my own clients and whatnot.
A lot of people don't understand what pinhooking is, the layman, but it is kind of a fun way to get in this game. I think the Paraneck, I think Unbridled Song was a pinhook that nobody wanted.
Right. He was sold through the Barrett sale and then rejected, I believe, on a X-ray. And, you know, we bought the Silver Move in the March sale as a pinhook. And, but we were the buyers, not the pinhookers. That's Earl Silver and Mr. Iserman and I.
Just decided to keep him.
Yes.
It was never anyone's intention to sell.
Well, we bought him from pinhookers. So really, I myself and my clients are working on the other end of it.
That's very odd for you.
Right.
What happened? Somebody saw this horse and said, let's take a shot?
Well, we worked the sales together, my clients and I, and we purchased 4 horses out of that sale, and this was one of the 4. And so we're working as buyers, not as sellers. Now, my family works as sellers.
We always say when one of your horses appears, it's going to win, and then you can buy it. We kind of think of you as like the old-fashioned way, the way they do it in Europe. Run them, and then you can have them.
Right. There have been quite a few offers entertained on the Silver Move, but at this time, Mr. Silver still owns him entirely.
Okay. Let's find out why. Now remember, the Remsen produced Thunder Gulch. As you know, Thunder Gulch went on and did something pretty nice the first Saturday in May. So let's look at the Remsen, and then we'll talk about the horse. Here it is.
And they're off. The Silver Move, and there goes a Crown Ambassador up and after the lead. Cashatrea veered out soon after the start and is third as they head for the turn. Hex up close to a lively early pace on the outside, fourth. Affair with Peaches moves in fifth, just ahead of Jules, who's sixth. Accelerators at the back of the pack with El Joven the trailer. Around the clubhouse turn, Crown Ambassador is the leader, and the Silver Move comes through on the inside, the quarter, and into the stiff wind in 24 1/5 seconds. Into the backstretch now with the wind at their backs. It's Crown Ambassador 3/4 of a length. The Silver Move pressing on the inside, second a length. Hex on the outside, just off the pace, running third. In behind the front three, it's Cashatrea fourth. 2 lengths back, Affair with Peaches is fifth. Jules is running sixth, unhurried at this point, but he's 9 or 10 lengths behind the front runner, Crown Ambassador. Farther back, Accelerator and El Joven. The half in 48 2. At the half-mile pole, Crown Ambassador still leads the way. Crown Ambassador striding out now by a length and a half. The Silver Move's running in second. Hex is third. Cashatrea still fourth. And Jules is kicking in. He's making a move with 3 furlongs to go. He's by Affair with Peaches. He rockets past Cashatrea and Hex. He is taking aim at the front runners as the field turns for home. Crown Ambassador is the leader. The Silver Move trying to get by him. Jules made a powerful move on the far turn. He draws within striking range of the leaders as they come down to this final furlong marker. Accelerator is fourth. It's the Silver Move who's emerged with the lead. Jules giving his best, trying to get by a very game. The Silver Move is holding on and turning back Jules and all the rest. The Silver Move has won the Remsen by 3 conclusive lengths over Jules. It's a photo for third.
Looks like if they ran around again, he'd still be in front, which is a good sign.
Yes, it is.
And he gave $72,000 for
That's
this
right.
horse. I'm sure that there have been many offers above that.
Yes, there have.
Is Mr. Silver dreaming of the first Saturday in
Oh,
May?
we are going to have a very exciting winter.
Okay, now let's examine the exciting winter. There are a lot of options open. You can go anywhere with this horse or stay here. What are the choices right now? Where are you thinking?
Well, I think we both have it in mind to try to run in the Gotham or the Wood, probably the Wood Memorial, and then hopefully the Kentucky Derby. What we use to get into those races is a little tentative right now. Possibly we'll run him in the Hutchinson or the Fountain of Youth to bring him into the Wood. So,
so Florida would be in first stop.
Right now, Florida's going to be his first stop, but it's going to be about a month on the farm, and then after that, we'll have to decide which race to use.
Does he go to your brother's farm?
Yes, to Woodside Ranch.
Down in Florida.
Right.
So that's where he'll be resting.
That's correct.
And when you buy a horse like this, what are you thinking? $72,000. You got to be dreaming. Most people are. Mr. Silver must be. And suddenly it materializes. It has to be a terrific feeling.
It is. At the time that we bought the horse for $72,000, of course, there were a lot of people who felt that we paid too much money for him at that time. But by December 1st, it doesn't look like too much money.
No, it certainly doesn't. But what do you see in a horse like that? That somebody would say you're obviously paying above the pedigree price.
Well, what we've tried to do is to look for horses that are very good movers, which he is, and for horses that have shown some speed, and his pedigree shows stamina on both top and bottom. So we look for horses with speed that have pedigree to run a rod of ground.
So now when are you going to ship him?
He's going to leave next week.
So he'll be out of here, heading to your brother's farm.
That's correct.
And then he'll be pointing for the Hutchinson. You're not going to stay for the Florida Derby. I mean,
that we really need to leave that up in the air. You know, these young horses are very unpredictable.
Yes, they are.
And tentatively, we'll point towards the Hutchinson, the Fountain of Youth, possibly the Florida Derby. I would not think that we'll use all 3 races, maybe 1, maybe 2.
But that means we'll have no Linda Rice horses here this winter?
Oh, yes, we will have Linda Rice horses here.
You mean you'll be commuting?
That's right.
How many are you going to leave?
10, 12.
Now, those 2-year-olds of yours, you do so well with them, and they're always rumored to be good, and they are good. This seems to be the height right now. This is about as good as it can get, isn't it?
Yes, I believe it is. You know, we all have 2-year-olds that break maidens, but you always hope that by the end of your 2-year-old year, you have a colt that has won the Remsen, which has so much prestige to that race as far as a 3-year-old picture and campaign, and to win it in the fashion that he did.
But now you're kind of out of the, you're on your own now. Your family's still pinhooking, but you're out there buying horses to run.
Yes, I've been in New York for 5 years now, and I would think that this race is probably the most significant one that I've won.
This is your biggest. You must be very good at the sales. You've been going to them probably since you're 4 years old.
I've been to the Keeneland sale since I was 9.
And walking around with your dad? And
of course.
And with you, what do they do to you then? Is always look for this, look for that, or did you pick it all up instinctively?
Oh, you learn as you go, you know, and it's just a natural progression of things, and I don't think that you can go there for 20-some years and not learn something.
I know a lot of people who've gone for 27, but obviously you have learned something because you're coming around on your own. You're one of our leading women trainers. We're delighted to have you here. And you know that in New York, we always root for horses that begin their careers here. So we'll be watching this horse with the big foot. Remember Jan Rushton said?
That's right.
Maybe turf, who knows? Anyway, have a good winter down there, and we'll be seeing you here at Aqueduct as well. Linda Rice, maybe in the winner's circle in May at Churchill Downs. Good night from Inside Racing. Good evening, welcome to Inside Racing. It's really like a holiday show for us. I don't think we'll be on next week.
That's correct. We'll be passing next week with the Christmas holiday, but we will return on another holiday. That's New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve will be on, and by then we'll have those Santa Anita races. Their meeting opens, I believe, Christmas Day, and they'll have a lot of stakes for us. But we have some this week, and you're also going to meet the new president of the New York Racing Association, Terry Meeks. But first, we have some races of the week.
And we're going to start those races right here at Aqueduct, a sloppy racetrack, an inner track here on Saturday at Aqueduct for the 87th running of the Queens County Handicap. This for 3-year-olds and up. It's a grade 3 at 1 mile and 3/16. Tom Durkin with the call.
And they're off. Poor but Honest heading for the early lead. Topsy Robsy came away in good order, but Paula Bruno takes him in hand, and the leader will be Poor but Honest, who's made the lead rather easily. Leads by 3. Topsy Robsy is running second. Secreto de Estado on the outside third. And then it's Colonial Secretary 6 lengths back to More to Tell, who trails the field as they race into the clubhouse turn. Up top, Poor but Honest going a bit wide on the turn. Poor but Honest, tough to handle here. Topsy Robsy rides the rails and comes up to take the lead. Topsy Robsy taking over after a hard-to-handle Poor but Honest. Ran with a lot of difficulty around the clubhouse turn. It's 2 lengths back to Secreto de Estado and a hard-held Colonial Secretary. It's another 3 back to More to Tell. The first quarter was a quick one, 22 3/5 seconds, but the pace moderated, 47 1/2. Now Poor but Honest has settled down, back on track, and is clear by 2 from Topsy Robsy running along in second. Secreto de Estado gets a nudge from Cornelio Velasquez. He'd like him closer. Then it's Colonial Secretary running 4th, and More to Tell is caught up with the field. More to Tell is 7 lengths behind the front runner, Poor but Honest, who has a 3-length lead after 3/4 of a mile in 1:11 4. Poor but Honest in command, and he took a bad step there. Poor but Honest has stopped. Poor but Honest has been pulled up. And a quick change here in the order as Topsy Robsy has a short lead, and on the outside, More to Tell. Those two turning for home together. It's Topsy-Robsy down inside under a heavy drive. Richard Migliore all over Mortatel, but a stubborn foe in Topsy-Robsy today. Topsy-Robsy holding on to the lead by a half length. Mortatel on the outside doing his best to try to get by Topsy-Robsy, who's going to gut it out and go on to win here. Topsy-Robsy is the winner. Mortatel second. Farther back, Colonial Secretary third.
As you could see in the running, the heavy favorite in the race, Poor But Honest, broke down. It was vanned off. We don't know the condition right now, but this did set it up for Topsy-Robsy, the second speed, in position to take over. Mortatel hangs on the wire, but Hobo Farm, Alan Jerkins, and we think this could have been Paula Kine-Bruno's first graded stakes win.
And good for Paula. She wins the Queens County with Topsy-Robsy. Mortatel second. Colonial Secretary was third. We're going to go south now, down to Calder, where they had a couple of races for 2-year-olds. We'll begin with the 2-year-old fillies in the Boca Raton Stakes, 1 1/16 the distance. Phil Saltzman with the call.
And they're off in the Boca Raton Stakes. Toward the inside, final approval, and V formation move for the lead. Middle of the track, Charge It to Rose. To the outside, License to Thrill. And further out, it's Cotton Carnival moving up. Toward the inside, that's Com Kim. Saving ground at the rail, it's Zesty Zoe. It's 3 lengths back to the inside, that's Rona Gale. Another length to the trailer, Set the Tone. They move around the clubhouse turn. On the outside, Charge It to Rose puts her head in front. At the rail, that's final approval second. Moving toward the outside, that's Cotton Carnival now third. Another length back to V formation fourth. To the outside, Com Kim is fifth. Length to the inside, Zesty Zoe. Outside of her, it's License to Thrill. 2 lengths back, Set the Tone, and 3 lengths to Rona Gale. First quarter, 23-3. The half, 47-4. 4 furlongs left to go. Charge It to Rose, setting a fast pace, leads by almost 2. Between horses, Cotton Carnival. Toward the outside, that's V formation moving up. At the rail, it's final approval. Then it's 4 lengths back to the rail. That's Zesty Zoe. On the outside, Com Kim. It's another length and a half back. Far outside, Set the Tone. Dropping back, that's License to Thrill, and Rona Gale comes on. They went 3 quarters and won 13-1. A quarter of a mile to go in the Boca Raton Stakes. V formation's the one to catch now. Leads by 3. Zesty Zoe moves into second position. Cotton Carnival is third. Then down the middle of the track, Rona Gale rallies. They move past the 8th pole. It's V formation by 5, and they're not going to get her today. Zesty Zoe is second with Rona Gale third. Deep stretch, it's V formation. She takes the Boca Raton Stakes easily. Zesty Zoe is second.
9-5 favorite wins here like a 1-5 shot by 7 or 8 lengths. It's owned by W. Nazarenko, trained by Jay Hatchett. Jose Ferrer enjoyed that ride around the Calder race course.
V formation, daughter of Proud Birdie, takes the Boca Raton. Zesty Zoe was second. Rona Gale finished third. And if you think that filly won by a lot, take a look what happens here with the boys, the 2-year-olds in the What a Pleasure Stakes. This is a grade 3, same distance, 1 1/16, and Phil Saltzman has the call.
And they're off in the What a Pleasure Stakes. Toward the outside, that's Arthur L. moving for the lead. Far outside, it's Blunt Island. Moving to the inside, that's Valid Ensign. Then it's a length and a half back to the rail to Plenty of Pie. Moving up from between horses, that's Minigosta. Then a length to the outside, it's Fight for Liberty. 2 lengths back to David's Ghost, and 3 lengths to the trailer, Love You. They move around the clubhouse turn, and it's Arthur L. enjoying a length and a half lead. Toward the inside, that's Valid Ensign. Then on the outside, Blunt Island. Length back, that's Plenty of Pie. To the far outside, Minigosta. Then it's 3 lengths back. David's Ghost moves up 6th. On the inside, that's Fight for Liberty. And it's 6 lengths back to Love You. First quarter in 23-4, the half 47-3. 4 furlongs left to go in the What a Pleasure Stakes, and it's Arthur L. that shows the way by 2. Valid Ensign is second, 3 lengths to the inside. Blunt Island is third. Then comes Mini Ghost to fourth. Far outside, David's Ghost moves up a closer 5th. Length and a half to the inside, it's Plenty of Pie. Then 2 lengths back, Love You, and now the trailer, Fight for Liberty. The field moves to the quarter pole. They went 3 quarters and won 12 flat. and it's Arthur L. that's opened up a 6-length lead. Valenensen can't keep up. David's Ghost takes up the chase on the outside next. Then further out, here comes Love You from last. Beal moves toward the 8th pole. Arthur L. That was Love You. That was Love You going down. No, that was Love You. Then toward the inside with the lead, that's Arthur L. now in front by 10. Arthur L. is romping home in the What a Pleasure. He's going to win this by about 15 lengths. It's David's Ghost second with Plenty of Pie.
There was bumping behind in a DQ, but frankly, I don't think it affected the winner. The horse wins by about 17 lengths. Arthur L. Cobbleview Stable. Louis Alvarez is the trainer. Ibercoa should have paid for that ride around the racetrack.
Arthur L. wins the What a Pleasure very easily. Actually, a horse went down, and because of that, number 8, David's Ghost, was disqualified from second and placed last. That moved Plenty of Pie into the second spot and Valenensen up to third. But the What a Pleasure belongs to Arthur L. Let's go to California now. Check in at Hollywood Park for the Grade 1 Hollywood Starlet. 2-year-old fillies, 1 mile and a 16th. The main track there labeled good. Here's Luke Kreitbas with the call.
Off and running in the Hollywood Starlet. It's a good start with long shot Queen of Money. Hustled away to take the lead. City Band, Sharp Cat's right there early. Wealthy gets a good spot, saving ground to the inside. Then Critical Factor, High Heeled Hope is 5 off the pace early. Followed in behind that by Dove Shell and 4 back to Sarita, who trails. Midway round the first turn, City Band in front by 3/4 with Sharp Cat right off her flank, racing in second. Queen of Money third by a neck. Wealthy tugs her way up along the inside from 4th place. Then Critical Factor, High Heeled Hope next by 2. Dove Shell moves within 5 lengths of the pace on the inside and a gap of 5 back to Sarita. Opening quarter, 23 seconds flat. City Band and Gary Stevens half a length in front. Sharp Cat right there on the outside, tracking in second. Wealthy to the inside, tucked in third. Queen of Money racing in 4th. High Heeled Hope in traffic 5th with Critical Factor to the outside. 2 farther back to Dove Shell and a gap of 3 back to Sarita, who's picked it up as they head to the far turn. Half mile, 47 and 1. City Band by just ahead now. Sharp Cat turns up the heat in second. Queen of Money third. Critical Factor 4th by 2. Sarita moves into contention on the far outside. Then High Heeled Hope and 3 back to Dove Shell. Round the far turn they go. City Band still just that nose in front. To the outside, Sharp Cat right there second. 3 back Critical Factor. Then Queen of Money. Sarita on the far outside. At the top of the lane, City Band is set down for the drive. Tackled in earnest now by Sharp Cat to the outside. Sharp Cat pushing on by City Band. Tough to the inside. Sharp Cat takes the lead. And Sharp Cat drawing away from City Band. Sharp Cat, City Band second. 5 farther back to a host of challengers for third, but it's Sharp Cat to win the Hollywood Starlet. Sharp Cat by almost 3 to City Band.
Tail swishing Sharp Cat gets Lasix for the first time from D. Wayne Lucas. She annexes the Hollywood Starlet, and City Band, also D. Wayne Lucas, gets second. This one owned by the Thoroughbred Corporation, ridden by Corey Nakatani.
Sharp Cat, daughter of Storm Cat, wins the Starlet. City Band was second, and High Heeled Hope finished third. And that's the story with the 2-year-old fillies out at Hollywood. We're going to come back later on in the program and take a look at a Grade 1 turf race run at Hollywood Park over the weekend, but that's later.
But how about these 2 fillies? They were nowhere to be seen up at Woodbine, which makes Nick's filly look even a little bit better. Maybe the first time Lasix, this was the better one. This horse had a lot of stakes victories in her background.
It was the White Bridle, 1-2.
1-2, that's exactly where D. Wayne likes to be. But Zito, heating up down in Florida, you never know what's going to happen. We'll be looking at that all winter. Gulfstream and Santa Anita. See what's doing. Again, a correction. Santa Anita doesn't open Christmas Day. That's another track. They open the day after Christmas Day.
That's right, and Gulfstream will open the first weekend in January, so a lot of good racing ahead.
And we had an appointment here this week. Mr. Terry Meeks became the president of the New York Racing Association. A lot of you haven't met him. We think you should. Terry will join me right after this. Helm here, which you may have read in the paper. For some reason, changes in management here attract a lot of attention. I don't know why. It's not like we got rid of George Steinbrenner. Kenny No is still here. He is chairman of the board, chief executive officer. But Terry Meeks, our guest, is now the chief operating officer and the president of the New York Racing Association. A dubious distinction at this time. However, I know you can handle it. Now, there are people always think that you came here with Kenny. This is not true.
No, I came in here in May of 1993, and Kenny came the following year in October. I came as vice president of racing. And I was a background. I was hired from Calder Racetrack, where I was the racing secretary since 1979 and the director of racing at Gulfstream Park Racetrack.
So actually, you're not a newcomer to racing. When you
No.
came here, you had some background.
Basically, you know, I'm a third-generation horseman. My dad was a jockey agent for over 50 years, recently retired about approximately 3 years ago. The man that raised my dad was a trainer. So I grew up in the race on the game. I loved the game, and basically went to work in the racing office in 1970.
So actually, that's a long time. You're not that old.
No.
How old are you?
45, and I'll be 46 in a couple
So you were
weeks.
19 when you started on the track working.
That's correct.
And your dad had early fires?
For 28 and a half years,
Always went to the lead early.
yeah. You know, and you know, brother early fires is like family, and the whole, you know, he's one of a dozen kids basically, and you know, it's a good relationship, and it's hard to see. There's not that many agents, jockeys, you know, through the past years to get, you know, been that associated that long together. Shoemaker and Donnie Brumfield and Eddie Rice and my father.
Well, these are big things, and people don't realize that. As you and I know, the relationship between an agent and a jockey is very tenuous. So the fact that Dad was able to stay that long indicates the kind of man he has to be.
Yeah, I think to early, it was like a second father to him. And that was very important.
Now, when you were asked to come up here, I mean, a man like you coming to New York, it's a big move. Who made the approach?
Well, Mr. Dragone originally, Jerry McCune, Jerry Lawrence.
Was it a big change? I mean, we have people who want to play on the Yankees because they don't want to live here.
Yes, it was a change. It was, you know, not as much for me as my family. I've got my wife. She was very well content in Florida. We lived there for 14 years. We had a lot of friends, and you know, my parents are there now. The kids were grown, or going through school, and it was the right time to make the move. Our daughter Abby was going into high school. You know, so it was the right time.
But it's tough. It's not easy on children, particularly.
They wouldn't move back to Florida right now, the kids.
That's good. I'm glad to hear somebody likes it here. They like it now.
Definitely.
That's great to hear. Now, when you came up here originally, you weren't racing secretary. You brought here as like director of racing.
Right, vice president of racing.
And then you're out of the racing, but you still overlook the book. You never just sit by quietly.
The first year Mike Lakow became racing secretary, I sat with him and talked to him, and you know, not coached him, but kind of was there for him. When Bruce was here as racing secretary, I did not look over the book, or that's Bruce's job. It's Bruce's responsibility. Now Mike's responsibility is to fill the races and give to the fans the best possible racing we can offer.
We're doing it right now.
Yeah, I think it's been improved. You know, with the reduction of days, racing 5 days a week has really been a big help.
And the purses are going to stay up there.
Yeah, the purses in the last year and a half have increased since the takeout has, you know, changed. We've made some improvements to the facilities. So I think overall we're on the right trend.
Now, when we look at the attendance, we're all kind of in shock. It's not staying up there. What is the future for that?
Well, you know, we're all discouraged about the on-track attendance, but you look at it, it's, for the most part, it's a national trend. You look at Hollywood Park last Thursday. It was a bad day weather-wise. They had 5,800 people. You know, Turfway Park, first weekend they opened, or first night they opened, they had 2,000 people. There's many days at Churchill this past fall. They were off 9% on-track attendance. So, you know, it's something we must address and try to, you know, attract new people. The total handle, we're going to probably gross $2.6 billion in total handle. And yes, the total handle, and I think it's based to the 5 days a week, the better racing in 4 fields.
Simulcasting, though, is unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of it personally, but it obviously is the way to go now.
You'd hate to say it, but yes, it is. Bill Nader has done an excellent job in trying to, you know, bring other areas to, you know, to wager on New York racing.
Well, now we're very big in that. I mean, you look some days, we have 2,800 or 4,000 here, and the overall handle nationally is $5–6 million.
That's correct.
So somebody is wagering out there on New York racing. And remember, we go to Vegas or California, it's 8:30 in the morning.
Right.
So people are getting up early to play our races. Now, most of your experience is backstretch and horsemen. What are we going to do for the consumer, the patron who comes here every day?
Well, in the last year and a half, we have made many changes and many improvements in the facilities at all 3 tracks, Aqueduct, Belmont, and Saratoga. We spent approximately $4 million in improvements last year alone at Saratoga, and most of it was done in the facilities, the front side. You know, you look at improvements here at Aqueduct. Basically, we've got the food courts. We've brought it in TeleView to come in, and the camera, the pictures have been an improvement. You know, the TV sets that we put in over $100,000 worth of TV sets throughout the plant. And we're trying to keep the place clean. We've made a lot of improvements and upgrades in the bathrooms. I think everybody it's a little bit is important, very important.
It is important. Now, if they see you walking around, the fans, the 4,000 who are here weekdays, the 8,000 who are here weekends, can they go up and say, Terry, I got a complaint?
I think they have been for the last year and a half, but yes, always.
Terry, you'll always answer their question. One of the things we've noticed about you in the few years that I've known you, if I make a suggestion, at least you listen, and once in a while you actually act on it.
Well, we try, you know, and once again, we're here, you know, and it's whether it be you, yourself, or myself, or anybody else, all employees, we're here to try to make New York racing the best it is.
And I think we're doing. Of course, even though I don't work here anymore, I have a loyalty. I'm a member of the family. Terry Meeks, if you see him walking around, go up to him. Don't be nasty, because he's a very nice man. Terry, good luck on taking us into, or hopefully to, the next century. We'll be right back.
It's a good reason to have stayed. We've got the Grade 1 Hollywood Turf Cup to take a look at. $500,000 up for grabs. This is at 1.5 miles at Hollywood Park on the turf course, which is labeled good. Here's Luke Kreitbas with the call.
They're in the gate. Off and running in the Hollywood Turf Cup. Even start, Marlin heading off to take a short lead. Wings Bash Brookwell is right there in second. Bond Point gets a good spot early third to the outside. Talwa settling down in fourth place. Then Mr. Reledge moving up fifth to his outside. And by that, the mare Wind Sharp 5 off the pace and tugging harder. Lee Raintrap next hung out 3 deep to the outside. And by that comes Party Season. Second last, Mr. Bluebird. At the back of the pack is Running Flame. Into the stretch for the first time. Wings Bash, the long shot, leads it clear by almost 1. Marlin, the 3-year-old, tracking intently in second place. Bond Point under a snug hold is third. Talwa settles down on the inside in fourth. Mr. Reledge to his outside, racing fifth by 2 more. And unhurried Wind Sharp is racing in sixth place. And behind that comes Party Season, 7 lengths off the pace. Mr. Bluebird advancing along the inside. And behind that comes Rain Trap, and Running Flame continues to trail. Through the half mile in 50 and 4, slow tempo here. It's Wings Bash in front by 1.25 lengths now. Marlin still racing second. They're joined on the outside by Bond Point, who's headstrong early in third. Talwa moves through along the inside in fourth. Mr. Reledge, the long shot, racing in fifth. Then the mare Wind Sharp, she's 5 lengths off the pace, and behind that Mr. Bluebird, 6.5 off the lead. And behind that comes Party Season. At the back of the pack is Running Flame, and the trailer is Rain Trap. Up the backstretch they go. 6 furlongs in a slow, 1:16 and 1. Wings Bash, and Corey Black now opens it up to 2. Marlin still a clear-cut second with Talwa right there on the inside third. Bond Point racing in fourth. Long shot, Mr. Reledge moving up in traffic with Wind Sharp on the far outside, just 2.5 off the pace. Then Mike Smith moving Mr. Bluebird on the far outside, followed by Running Flame behind that Party Season. And at the back continues to be Rain Trap. Round the far turn, 1 mile in 1:40 and 2. And the tempo quickening here round the far turn. Marlin up to take on long shot Wings Bash, who's still in front by a head. Talwa waiting for an opening along the inside in third place at the top of the lane, and Marlin sticks his head in front. Wings Bash tries to counter. Talwa swung wide for the drive, is coming with his charge. Bond Point, Wind Sharp right there, and Mr. Bluebird on the extreme outside. Deep stretch now in the Hollywood Turf Cup. Marlin's got the lead. Here comes Running Flame through an opening on the inside. Running Flame exploding late and taking the lead, and Running Flame and Chris McCarron to win the Hollywood Turf Cup. Marlin second, and
French-bred Running Flame takes to the good turf at Hollywood and wins it. First start in this country, owned by Gary Bazans, trained by Mike Pipey. Chris McCarron up. Marlin was second. Talwar finished third. We are out of time. Have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you New Year's Eve night in 2 weeks. Good night, everybody.